Friday Night Lights thrust Taylor Kitsch into the spotlight, but could a couple of high-profile flops derail his rising star? Not enough to bring this multifaceted actor down. Taylor Kitsch's origins aren't too far removed from his character in Friday Night Lights, but while the character Tim Riggins grew up in Texas playing football, Kitsch played hockey against the backdrop of British Columbia, Canada. His father, a construction worker, left him and two older siblings to be raised by a single mother when he was only a year old. Kitsch once recollected to Scripps News, "My dad was never around. I can relate to Tim in that way, that absence of some sort of figure in our lives." Kitsch claimed that his stereotypical small-town upbringing in Kelowna was something he wouldn't change for the world. And when Elle magazine asked about growing up in a trailer park, Kitsch described himself as "white trash. Growing up, I really was. Proud of it." Before getting into acting, Taylor Kitsch's passion was hockey. In an Instagram post, he recalled feeling upset when he accompanied his mother to buy a pair of secondhand skates. His mother then told him his options were wearing them or not playing at all. He took the latter option, claiming, "I played, was the only player in the league with these skates, and the second I touched the ice, I never once thought of these skates again." Starting from age 3, Kitsch had dreamed of becoming a hockey player. He made it to the junior league before a knee injury took him out, telling the Daily Beast, "When the knee went, I was pretty traumatized for a while. My hockey career ended very abruptly." Despite that shock, the actor still credits his sports career for why he's been able to roll with the punches throughout his life.
So as a hockey player, the losses are what shaped you a lot more than the wins.
Really?
Soon after he saw the end of his dream career in sports, Taylor Kitsch was approached by a modeling scout in Vancouver. By 2002, after a lot of insistence, he signed on with IMG Models and was living in New York. Though the agency initially provided housing, he was left with very little money every month, with Kitsch recollecting to Elle magazine, "It's not like I was this mainstream runway model. I wasn't working. I lived in an apartment in Spanish Harlem with no electricity, and then I lost that." When Kitsch was kicked out of his apartment, he started sleeping in subway cars. Clear that his life in New York wasn't working, he relocated to Los Angeles. There, he became a certified personal trainer despite lacking a green card and visa. But even though Kitsch scored a manager during this time, he was still living out of his car. When he finally returned to Vancouver, ready to admit defeat, he then started getting on-screen roles. Having a good sense of humor and laughing off life's hardest times is probably Taylor Kitsch's biggest asset. He was voted funniest in his class during his high school years, later claiming to the New York Times that he tried to be the funniest person at his school, quote, "at all costs." This determined, positive outlook seems to have helped Kitsch through many ups and downs, with director Joseph Kosinski telling Esquire, "He's also got an incredible sense of humor that I think is his secret weapon." Whatever it is, Kitsch's hustle mentality and good-natured approach to his career has left him equally content and grateful. After taking a lot of hits, Taylor Kitsch returned to Canada, where he started auditioning for small roles in film and television. In 2006, he secured parts in the cult favorite films Snakes on a Plane, John Tucker Must Die, and The Covenant. But Kitsch's big break came when he was cast as Tim Riggins in the television series Friday Night Lights. At the time, his manager wanted him to read for the role of Jason Street, as the series' showrunner Peter Berg already had 3 other actors shortlisted for Riggins. But since Kitsch felt he was uniquely suited to play the part, he auditioned on tape and was flown out to Los Angeles to meet with Berg at NBC. According to the New York Times, it was after seeing Kitsch stepping out of the car on the lot that Berg decided, "This guy's it. The rest is history." Though it wasn't widely known back then, Taylor Kitsch admitted in a 2018 interview with Andy Cohen that he was in a relationship with his Friday Night Lights co-star, Minka Kelly, for much of the time he spent on the show.
Will I see you later?
Like when?
5 minutes. Maybe 3.
In Kelly's memoir, Tell Me Everything, she wrote about their on-again, off-again relationship, both on and off screen. Kelly claimed that focusing too much on Kitsch negatively affected her relationships with her coworkers, adding, "All the effort I might have invested in connecting consistently with the girls on the show went to Taylor, so when my relationship with Taylor became toxic, I had no one to turn to." Kelly claims she and Kitsch broke up and got back together more times than she could count, with neither of them mature enough to navigate the situation when they had separated. After finding success in Friday Night Lights, Taylor Kitsch started getting cast in other movies. And when the show wrapped up in 2011, Kitsch's career as an action hero seemed about to start, with back-to-back movie projects slated to premiere in 2012. Unfortunately, despite their blockbuster potential, John Carter and Battleship, both of which would have him starring in at least 2 sequels for each franchise, were busts. Since then, Kitsch has gotten pickier about his projects. He stuck to movies for a while before returning to television for the second season of True Detective. After joining the cast of Friday Night Lights, Taylor Kitsch relocated to Austin, Texas, a city he previously knew nothing about. There, he bought a lake property in the wake of the show's ending, where he lived until 2021. He originally planned to make it into his dream home.
Texas forever.
But Kitsch found himself outgrowing his adopted home, and after spending time roaming through Big Sky Country during the pandemic, the actor finally decided to sell his home in Texas and move to Bozeman, Montana. He's lived there ever since. Speaking to Esquire of his new home, Kitsch claimed Bozeman reminds him of his hometown, and it gives him plenty to do between filming. This includes hikes, fly fishing, and his newfound hobby of wildlife photography. For a while, Taylor Kitsch's focus shifted to helping his younger sister get sober. At the time, Shelby Kitsch Best had been struggling with an addiction to amphetamines and opioids. In his 2023 Esquire profile, Kitsch spoke about going to hell and back 17 times with his sister before she was finally able to stick it out. This included looking for her in sketchy places, her running away from rehab or simply refusing to go, and cycles of overdosing and detoxing. Now able to celebrate 7 years sober, Kitsch Best claimed in an interview with the New York Times, "He literally put his life on hold to help me. I don't even know how to put it in words." Taylor Kitsch likes to keep his private life away from the press, so much so that very little is known about his romantic history even now, 20 years into his career. Even his relationship with Minka Kelly remained a rumor until only a few years ago. In the early days of his career, Kitsch spoke of wanting children and hoping to raise them like he was raised, active and outdoors. And while Kitsch remains unmarried, the actor did tell Esquire in 2022 that there was maybe a special someone in his life. Taylor Kitsch only had a few lessons from acting coach Sheila Gray under his belt when he started in the business. A combination of his good looks and charisma is what initially got him through the door. While Friday Night Lights was recording, Kitsch spent a lot of his time on set with older actors, hoping for their advice and wanting to learn as much as he could from them. This ultimately afforded Kitsch a lot of freedom to try new things.
Enjoy Jesus.
Yeah, enjoy your depraved hedonism.
Oh, I will.
So will I.
He was allowed to pitch his own ideas as well as paraphrase his lines and improvise. And while Kitsch has returned to learn under Sheila Gray throughout his career, his successes are mostly due to a lot of hard work and raw talent. He told the New York Times, "The only thing that eliminates self-doubt for me is prep." Taylor Kitsch was able to harness the distress of aiding his sister through sobriety into his most personal project to date, his role as Glenn Krager in the series Painkiller. The show, inspired by an article published in The New Yorker, tells the story of a hardworking family man who becomes addicted to OxyContin. According to Kitsch, he couldn't get through the script on his first read-through because of his fresh emotions from what he'd gone through with his sister, but he took the part because he wanted to honor his sister's pain and effort getting clean. During filming, Kitsch asked his sister to consult. She did, telling the New York Times, "Those things are difficult to watch because it's so real, but it's good how real it is." Kitsch Best also received a cameo in the show and even helped choreograph a detox scene. Kitsch recalled to the New York Times, "Bringing her was incredibly cathartic and obviously full circle. I was the emotional mess, and she was just killing it." In his 2015 Elle profile, Taylor Kitsch spoke of how much he's had to sacrifice for his acting career, saying, "It's my choice, but it better be worth sacrificing for." That certainly seemed to be the case for a long time. He threw himself headfirst into every project. This resulted in him racking up injuries during the filming of John Carter, losing weight for the normal heart, and having a small breakdown in the lead up to Waco. But Kitsch seems to have found some balance these days. After taking a break to take care of his sister, he finally slowed down. He explained his mentality to the New York Times, saying, "I pride myself on being picky because it is so much energy and sacrifice. If I can't be all in and really be in service of something and be scared and be uncomfortable, then I don't want to do that." These days, the actor works less, enjoys his free time, and is living his life. His career may not be flashy, but it suits him just fine.